by 15 at the half, but came all the way back. And Paul George hit a three-pointer in the closing seconds to tie it. Then on the final play of the game, Gary Harris hit an insane three-pointer for the win. Moments later, Russell Westbrook was walking up the court and a fan got in Russ's face. He pushed the fan out of the way before security came in. Afterwards, Westbrook talked about the situation. Let's take a listen.
You got to be able to protect the players. Then you play the game and guard the fans. Obviously enjoy the game, but they can't come on the floor. It's totally unacceptable. So look at it and figure out, what's the best thing to do. But to me, that's just totally unacceptable.
We're joined by FS1 NBA analyst Eddie House. Welcome back, Eddie. Good to have you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Was Russ wrong for shoving the fan?
No, I don't think he was wrong because you do have to protect yourself, and he's on the court. And I think this is what the fans are kind of getting out of hand with. Just because you buy a ticket to the game doesn't give you the right to say whatever you want, to do whatever you want. It's a way to be respectful, to enjoy the game. Of course, you don't like guys, you could heckle them, but it's certain lines you don't cross. And no pun intended, the sideline and the line of getting in people's face and talking reckless to them, too reckless. We've seen it with Terrell Pryor at Washington. We also seen it with Jacksonville, the end of Jacksonville game. This is becoming an ongoing thing that you want to prevent a Palace at the Malice happening again. I mean, and if they keep pressing the buttons, somebody eventually is going. You keep knocking on the door, somebody going to eventually answer. Right. And it's like if you have a bad day, or you have a bad day, or you win this one and you lose, and you got somebody in here heckling. Nobody goes to anybody's job to get heckled, And I think that's where the fans need to understand that this is a game we're playing. This is our job. Respect it that way. Be a fan, but don't cross the line.
You buy a ticket if you're very fortunate enough, you know someone, you have the means. You buy a ticket to sit court side. You didn't say anything about sitting your ass on the court. So stay off the court. Russell doesn't know what he's coming to do. Monica Seller, Skip, and a lot of people don't remember Monica Seller.
Now you're going to the extreme, but yeah.
Exactly. They didn't think it was extreme. They had nothing. They just saw the guy like, oh, he ain't going to do nothing.
Yeah. She was sitting.
She was sitting down, had her back turned, and he wanted Steffi Graf to stay number one, and Monica Sellers
had a knife.
And he stabbed in the back. She was never the same.
Nope.
And it changed the way they do things.
And I'm sure it also scarred her psychologically.
Of course, absolutely. And that's the thing, though, Skip. You see the malice is like players can't go up in the stands.
Well,
but we're going to excuse a fan coming on the court. Or he was so excited. See, Russell should have just had the ball in his hand, hit him up on the chin with the ball. Ooh.
Maybe bite that tongue.
And go on back to business. Bro, I get it. You're excited. That was a very exciting ball game. Paul George hit a shot that tied it up, and then Gary Harris hit one from Bloomfield, Colorado. Yeah. Bro, stay off the court, man. The man's already emotional. Skip, you remember, what was that? Oregon and Boise State? When the player came and was heckling in LeGarrett's face?
Oh.
And he ate nothing but those one piece.
Hey, Larry Bird back at Indiana State.
Woo! Skip,
he dropped a fan. Cold cocked.
You remember when they won the championship and all the fans were running on the floor and Larry Bird was pushing people down like he was trying to get out of a burning building.
I got you.
Stay in your place, fans.
But in this day and age, if you do what you suggest Russell did with the basketball, if you're going to jack the guy up and make him bite his tongue.
You're a little something, Skip.
Okay? If you do that, you are going to wind up in court. Even though those tickets say you cannot cross this line and go on in the court, you will wind up in another kind of court. You just will.
I'm a win.
Anybody can sue anybody. But you're not going to like it because it's going to take a lot of your time and it's going to take its sort of pound of mental flesh from you, right?
And that money.
I ain't paying him nothing. He going to pay me.
Okay, but I'm just telling you it happens. So I think the commissioners, the past and now the current one, have driven home the point. You, as a player, you can't cross that line the other way. So I don't think we're ever going to have another Malice at the back. I hope not. But I think the message got sent.
Right.
Now the message has to get sent that obviously the fan has no place on the court. And I was upset with the security, or you just can't let that happen.
No.
But to your point, they're sitting 2 feet from the inline. Like you could just bolt right out of your seat before anybody can do anything. You're right in Russell's face. And fortunately, it didn't look like he had any intent on his mind.
Right.
He just wanted to gloat in Russell's face. Well, to your point, that's completely out of bounds. And he's lucky Russell didn't jack him because, as you point out, Russell plays he plays like T.O. hard.
Yes.
Every dribble, right? So, and he's Well, he just gave up the game-winning shot. You don't think he'd like to hit the guy? Okay,
sure.
but I'm going to say this one time for Russell's sake, just so it gets in his psyche. You can't push back. You just can't. I know you deserve to. Like you'd say, you deserve to do whatever you want to once he crosses the line into your court. You just can't do it because it will cause you more harm than good going forward. You just can't shove back.
I was in fear for my life. I was fearful. I didn't know what was going to happen.
Well, and you can make that case.
I bet I'd have doubled
You know
it
what's
up.
unfortunate is that we're talking about that instead of that game. 'Cause that
Okay.
game was really good last
Well,
night.
maybe it's fortunate for Russ because I thought he blew his assignment on the last play. That's just me.
You know what? It could have been a foul too. Wilson Chandler was kind of pushing and kind of pushed Grant down,
He
and
knocked
you know they
him
got
down.
tangled up a little bit.
Okay, but I don't think
that-
you're going to get that call.
No,
but
you're not gonna get that call right there.
Oh, Marcus Smart got it.
Miscommunication.
Remember, he got two of them on James Harden.
He got two. That's a good point.
Yeah, that was a real good game last night. They were down 15 and fought.
At one point, they're down 20.
Yeah, they were down, and they kept fighting. They just never could get over the hump. I thought once Paul George hit that three, if they were able to get a stop, they probably would have won that game. But I mean, Russ with 20 and 21, and he almost had a triple double. 9
He almost
boards out
did,
there.
But 21
Again.
assists, that'll
Again.
work.
And that's on a guy who everybody says selfish and it's all about him. He's been right up there in assists
Well,
the
for
last
once,
2 years.
his sidekick was on fire
Yeah,
because
he-
Paul George scored 43 on
was
19
working.
and 26 and hit 5 out of 8 threes, so he just feeding the
Yeah,
beast.
we
28
see-
in the second half.
We've seen Paul George get like this. We watched him in the playoffs last year
Yeah.
against Bron. But you know, Bron brought that thing through. But fans, stay.
We have not seen George Paul do that
Yes,
in the playoffs. We have not.
Yes, we did. We saw him hit
Did
44.
he not come up small at the end of those games?
He hit 44
He
last
let LeBron off the hook
but
every
fans,
time.
please cheer. Boo, you terrible.
I
Russell,
got it.
you suck.
No.
Get all that. But don't look, that's that man plays. That's that man plays. I mean, it's like going to the zoo. I'm behind the bars of the glass. I'm doing all I want to, making faces. But I better not jump my butt in that enclosure. So you deserve to have happen to you. Whatever happens to you once you get in that enclosure. Whatever a player do. You notice they don't be coming on that field. Them football players do the skip. They know
Well, it's harder to get on the field because you got to.
Yeah, y'all so far away. They want to get to you.
Yeah, you don't want to run up. You don't want to run that far to get a butt cut.
They want to get to you, especially in the black hole. They want to get at you.
They ain't want none of this here.
Yeah, they do.
They want it. It would have been the black eyes. I don't know about the black hole, but the black eyes.
I still say Russ is getting a little pass for lack of. Again, Jokic said he fell asleep. I think he did. I think you can't. He was just playing the lane.
Yeah.
For two, and all of a sudden Gary Harris
That one
gets loose
quick
for
second,
3.
that's all it takes is that hesitation.
And he almost closed it out. He almost got there, but it was.
But while we laughing, Jokic had a triple double.
He did.
With 29,
29.
14 and 13, I think.
Well, they had 3 guys over 25. Harris, Jamal Murray, and Jokic.
Hey, after they
Jokic.
played, the Spurs barely beat them. What was it, like 4 nights ago? And I've never heard. It's been a long time since I've heard Coach Popovich laud a team the way he did Denver. He thinks they're just loaded.
They are, but Skip, sometimes they just don't. I mean, we've seen them beat Golden State by 25.
Oh, they have. They
can
can.
get hot with them threes. They got talent, but they just don't. Every night they don't bring it.
Yeah.
Well, it was an exciting ending, but hopefully the NBA does something about this. If the
Yeah.
guy is a season ticket holder
I
or
would
making sure that he doesn't get back in the building, because that could have gone. We're very fortunate, actually.
Yeah, that
The only
could've
thing
been
that
left
happened
real
was
quick,
that
yeah.
he got pushed. Eddie, thanks for joining us.
No
Well, the
problem.
Eagles pulled the upset on Sunday. Mike Martz